I started in swimwear. That's where my brand comes from. And from swimwear, we stumbled into this wonderful world of carnival.
Lila Nikole Rivera is an American costume designer and the creative mind behind the Lila Nikole collection. Born in Queens to Puerto Rican parents, she has become one of the most recognizable names in performance and swimwear design. Her work has appeared at major fashion weeks, on magazine covers, and in some of the world's biggest stages. She has designed for artists across music and television, leads costume work for Miami Carnival, and collaborates regularly with major sports franchises. In 2021, Rivera made history as the first Latin costume designer to create and manage a wardrobe for the weekend's Super Bowl halftime show, a milestone that solidified her influence in the industry.
Miami Carnival I've been designing since 2019, and Miami's different than all the other places because all the countries come here. It's easier for you to travel to, there's more accommodations, and there's so many different events going on.
So before we go on the road, they're going to set this up for our real shoots before we go on the road.
Miami Carnival is one of the South Florida's largest cultural celebrations, bringing together Caribbean music, masquerade, and tradition. Every October, thousands of masqueraders and spectators fill the streets with vibrant costumes, steel pan bands, and the infectious rhythms of soca. More than a parade, Miami Carnival is a celebration of heritage and also a space where Caribbean communities showcase their artistry, identity, and joy.
In the carnival family, industry, it is traditionally different Caribbean places, right? And the loudest voice is not Puerto Rican. I'm kind of one of the only Puerto Rican designers in this space. You know, most of them come from Trinidad, or they come from Jamaica, or if they're in Barbados, they are people from Barbados. So I've been one of the first faces that were able to come from the outside and to receive love and acceptance, and to be able to just join into what they're doing and then add my personality and my flair.
Miami Carnival brings in out-of-state and international tourists, with U.S. attendees coming from cities like New York City, Atlanta, and Boston, and international attendees coming from Jamaica, Guyana, and Antigua and Barbuda. When Carnival season arrives, it marks one of the busiest and most exhilarating periods in her already packed schedule.
It's fun, it's bright, and it's vibrant, and I fell in love with the experience, so I decided to become a carnival designer, and it's transformed into a full-blown, all-year-round business.
The parade of bands and concert is the last and the most expected day of Miami Carnival. Here, thousands of masqueraders in vibrant themed costumes fill the streets, accompanied by the rhythms of soca, calypso, and steel pan bands, culminating in a full day of music, costumes, and Caribbean celebration.
It consists of all of the four components. We have Junior Carnival, then we have the Panorama, or Pan Jamboree as we call it this year in 2025. We plan for the Juve, which is of course the mud, the paint, and with all the revelers, and also the main event, which is the Sunday, which is the mass and the concert. We have a large Caribbean community here in South Florida, so it's a showcase of our culture. So it's the continuum of where we were back home, and we're able to portray it here in South Florida and all over North America.
Joan Hinkson Justin is a proud St. Lucian and a longtime leader in the healthcare and Caribbean culture. John founded the St. Lucia Association of South Florida, produced early carnival bands, and later helped create an award-winning mass band, The Untouchables. Since 2013, she has also served as a chairperson of Miami Carnival, guiding one of the region's most important cultural celebrations. For over 41 years, she has served at North Shore Hospital, where she is now Director of Case Management, and recipient of honors such as the Healthcare Hero Award and the Medal of Culture from St. Lucia.
Miami Carnival is a boiling pot of the Caribbean culture. If you know, it's born from slavery. It's expression of yourself through beads and costume and actually trying to feel free from slavery.
Behind all the glitz and glamour, this year's Miami Carnival has faced challenges as rising costs and tariffs make creating elaborate costumes more expensive. According to the Miami Herald, mass bands have had to merge and some revelers stayed home due to financial and immigration concerns. Still, the grand finale at the Miami-Dade Country Fair and Exposition delivered vibrant costumes, Caribbean music, and thousands of performers keeping the spirit of Carnival alive.
Our biggest challenge, as everything else, it gets, more challenging each year, is financial. As you know, we get very limited, financial support from the county. So everything is privately sponsored by individuals and businesses and some sponsors, which is not a lot. As you know, the climate has changed with sponsorship. So the challenge for us is making sure that we are financially stable in order to produce the event. And the second challenge is making sure that we have the facility to make sure that it accommodates what we are trying to produce.
Overcoming financial and logistical hurdles is essential to bringing Miami Carnival to life, from securing the venue to perfecting each costume detail. Among the most important components are the feathers, which demand precise sourcing and skilled craftsmanship. Top feather supplier Paul Schumann and his team are the specialists behind transforming designers' visions into the vibrant spectacle seen every year.
So the way that it works is every carnival group will typically contract with a designer, and the designer will be contracted to make usually 6 to 8 costumes that represents a theme. So once the designer presents the themes to their client, the client will approve the direction that they want to go. Then we will take those renderings and drawings and we will break down the amount of feathers that it takes to create it. Feathers are simply a representation of the vision of the designers and the people. It adds an element of creativity, it adds an element of finesse to the costumes that really makes the people celebrating, the nexus of Carnival is freedom, so they're celebrating freedom, and the feathers and their different colors just help with the impact of expression.
Feathers aren't just decorative, they are essential to Carnival costume design around the world. In Brazil's Rio Carnival, Samba schools use around 1,650 pounds of feathers per parade, costing roughly $150 per pound, meaning a single school can spend upwards of $330,000 on feathers each year. Miami Carnival 2 showcases hundreds of feather headdresses, wings, and back pieces that bring Caribbean culture to life for thousands of revelers each year. Lightweight yet striking feathers allow designers to build large, intricate costumes that move with the performer, adding drama, volume, and flair. As Paul Schumann, Joan Hinkson, and Lila Nikole prepare for the carnival, they're also thinking about what comes next. The roles, responsibilities, and perspectives differ, but together they help shape how this event moves forward. For some, the focus remains closely tied to the carnival itself, while for others, the next steps reach even further.
I want to do the Olympics. I want to design for one of the big countries and do some over-the-top extravagant costumes. Other than that, everything I've wanted to do, I've done already.
My dream costume, the one that stands out the most to me is I appreciate Big Bird the most. Big Bird on Sesame Street has been something that our company has supplied others who make the costume. And Big Bird's been around forever and a day and is arguably one of the more iconic figures that we would supply.
We start preparing for Miami Carnival year-round. As soon as 1 year is finished in October of 2024, the next day we begin for 2025. So, it's a continuous preparation for the following year.
Carnival doesn't really end when music stops. By the very next day, preparations for the following year are already underway. For the people who build the celebration, Carnival is not just a weekend event, it's a year-round commitment. And it's that dedication that keeps Miami Carnival growing, evolving, and returning stronger every year.